forgot. Uh, what button was I supposed to press? Here we go. Let's try. Good morning and welcome back to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning Hobby Zone hangout. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is Jeff. What's
Hey,
up?
buddy.
How are you?
I'm okay.
I'm okay. Dude, the new intro is fantastic.
Yeah, I got to make some adjustments to it. I want to add, we got a few new viewers that I want to add to it, like Greg. I want to change Mark. He's listed as FH in the viewers, the pictures. I want to put one of his new picks up. And I got a few other guys I want to add to it. So it'll be a little longer next time.
Okay.
But that got us through to today. I spent way too much time trying to redesign the entire thing. And then I went, you know something, Mike and I both like the format for the first. I'm just going to make adjustments within it. So.
Yeah. Well, first, I like the fact we're calling it the Hobby Zone.
Yes.
That is perfect.
Yes.
And the fact that our faces are up there, like showing who we actually are, because we are always transforming our look.
Mine is expanding, but yeah.
Mine is graying. I'm graying down. So I just think it's just an awesome intro. So I'm super excited about it. Cool. And unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to cover, like, we've both been off for what, 2-3 weeks, something like that.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
Like,
that show was like December 7th.
No one's even watching because I don't think anybody.
They probably forgot we were coming back today, which is fine. I mean, they'll catch us, from
they
Facebook.
Get it later. Yeah. But while we were away, I took some time off of work, and one of the things I did while I was off work is I noticed a trend for the last few months prior to the end of 2024 that I wasn't getting my bill from Cox Communication.
Yeah, we talked about that the last show. We talked about that.
Yeah, like I hadn't received a bill from them, and December came, and I was like, "Where's my flipping bill? This is ridiculous." I'm like, that is my trigger to go pay the bill.
Pay the bill.
I know a lot of people do online bill pay, and I'm so disassociated with email, and like I just don't care enough about checking that stuff. So I called Cox. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And the lady was like, "Yeah, we sent you a thing, you didn't respond, so we immediately transferred you over to paperless bill pay." I'm like, "Well, that's not cool. I don't want paperless bill pay. Send me a bill." So they did. But the conversation took place. The lady was looking at my account. She's like, "Hey, we can upgrade you to a faster internet." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I know you can, but how much is that going to cost?" $5 more a month.
Yeah, it doesn't cost much.
Like, what do you mean? Like 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte, whatever their plan is. I don't know.
Right.
They said that they could upgrade me. It would be like $5 a month. I'm sure it's just a promotional thing. It's probably like in a year or 6 months from now, it's probably going to go up some more. And they'll be like, "Yeah, that was a promotion." I'll have that argument at that time.
Right.
But anyways, and they said they'd send me a new modem and everything for $5 and some change a month. I'm like, sign me up. Let's schedule an appointment to have your person come out and set it all up. They're like, "No, we just send it to you in the mail and you just set it up yourself." Mm-hmm. Fascinating. So I get my new box. I go to put the box in. It doesn't fit in my wall. It doesn't fit in the little thing because this new box is different. It's like a cube. And I had to buy I had to put a shelf in my closet where I could plug everything in. long story short, I've got upgraded internet.
You know, something I hadn't noticed that today. You haven't actually fuzzed out in a while,
And what I did, so I did things a little different.
right?
So when I put the new box in, that gave me a new router, all that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna hook this box up to Wi-Fi. My
Okay.
my desk computer,
Yeah.
not gonna hook it up to Wi-Fi. It is only got the option for hard because once I got the new router email address or whatever, the new word I'm not setting it up for Wi-Fi. So I'm hoping that resolves the
Yeah.
issues that we've been having
Yeah.
for the show so far. Like since we bought the new box, and good morning, Don. How are
Hey,
you,
Don.
buddy? So since we bought the new box and upgraded the speed, the download, whatever the hell it's called that they convince you that we need, I don't know what it is.
Right.
Like 1 gigabyte download transfer speed or whatever.
Whatever it is.
Um, our streaming on our computer or on our TV's gotten better. It's not 100% by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that's just par for the course for that type of technology. With being Christmas holiday week, everybody was at home either streaming games, streaming movies, so there's got to be a bog on systems.
Something somewhere. Yeah.
But the interruptions aren't nearly as bad as they used to be.
Yeah, well, your bandwidth could probably accommodate a lot more, but that makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so here I am. Hopefully I don't, this resolves that issue, but I'm thinking I'm just going to keep this computer at my desk just strictly hooked up to hardwire and never allow, because I think that's one of the things, maybe a default setting in StreamYard where it's like trying to go to Wi-Fi.
Right.
But if I don't have Wi-Fi, it can't go to Wi-Fi. So
it can't access it. Yeah.
So it can't access it. So
well, about talking about that do it yourself. I'm dealing with Comcast or Xfinity on this end, and I even switched my cell phone over to Xfinity. And the weird part was they have a big Xfinity. Here's the weird part: there's a huge Xfinity store in the mall, which is about a half hour away from me, and that's where you go to like drop off equipment, pick up equipment. So having some problems with my bedroom boxes that are wireless. But I'm standing there at the kiosk because there's like 12 stations where you can go to. This guy's in the one next to me, and he's freaking out about his Xfinity mobile service. And the lady goes, "Well, sir, I'm sorry. Our Xfinity mobile's like 98% do it yourself." She goes, "I don't even have access to a lot of those things because they've gotten the phone service down with Xfinity that any upgrades, they walk you through it yourself." Right. Through direction while you're online. So, morning, Joe.
Morning, Joe.
Yeah. So they're absolutely, and Comcast or Xfinity, all these cable companies have gone to where they just send you the equipment. So I went and got new equipment, came home and installed it all myself.
Yeah.
And got it all squared away. But I'm getting ready to go back up because my cable bill is slowly crawling into the stratosphere as far as my monthly expenses. So I got to figure out what's going on. And I think the same thing you just mentioned is some kind of plan that I initially got that has expired, and that's caused my cable bill to go through the roof.
And that's why I want them to send me the bill in the mail so I can look at the bill and go, this is why I don't like my cell phone company at all, because the cell phone company gives you a break on your bill if you go paperless, but they don't even email. Like you have to go in and check your account manually. And I just prefer send me a bill so I can see how much I still owe on the damn cell phone.
Hey, JP.
Peace. No, canceled out my event. So, well, all right.
Well, you are welcome to hang out with us virtually or otherwise, sir.
Anytime you want. So grab a cup of coffee. It's actually a little bit chilly in Arizona. This morning it was like in the 30s. So
looks like we got another inch of snow over last night. I'm actually liking the snow. I don't mind the cold when there's snow on the ground.
Yeah, it makes it feel
like winter. It feels I can deal with it better. It's not that I'm any less cold. It makes more sense in my brain. Oh, look, there's snow on the ground. It's supposed to be cold.
But this is why I got my robe on because, well, it's just a bit chilly. So I got my robe on to keep me warm.
Yeah, but I have learned that a person's definition of chilly in Arizona is nice here.
You would be in like shorts and a tank top,
Yeah.
and you'd be outside like I don't know doing yard work, and I'm like,
Yeah. So, but no, yeah, it's like right now it's 20. It was 27 degrees when I got up.
let me see. I think when I checked it this morning, it was at 36. I don't know
Oh,
what it is.
that's actually down where it's actually a little bitter cold.
It's 35 now because the sun's starting to come up, and that heats up the water.
That is a bit chilly.
Well, we haven't had a freeze in Arizona, like in the Phoenix or the metropolitan area, in a long time.
Right.
So, but yeah, and I'm trying not to turn my heater on.
Yeah.
So I think I told you we bought like a fake fireplace thing that's like
you told me.
center to put the TV on and stuff, but it has like a little heater that comes on, and realistically, like only time we really need the heat is in the living room when we're watching TV, but in the bedroom, and so it's like, you just curl up under like 20 blankets and you're just fine. So we're trying to go without turning the heater on this winter. So we'll see. 25 degrees here yesterday. It was 14. Where the heck?
He's old from my old stomping grounds in Central Ohio area.
Oh,
and they have been getting hit pretty hard. And
then if you get just a little bit of, I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. I forget which day I was working. It was kind of lukewarm outside. Like it was going to rain, when it's about to rain, it gets a little warm, but it had a breeze. And I was like, ooh, that breeze just kind of cuts right through you. It finds every little gap in your clothing and just goes right into you. And it's like, ooh, that's cold.
Yeah. So. Well, how you been doing hobby-wise? Getting anything done?
I'm working on, so I spent the time off. I did something new on my YouTube channel. I did a review and how to play board game, which really pushed my boundaries. I did Tiny Epic Cthulhu from Gamelin. I was just trying something different. I was like, trying to explain a board. So I spent a lot of time playing Tiny Epic Cthulhu and learning how to record a board game, which is completely different. It's because you have to really understand the rules, because when you're filming, I'm not thinking about the game all of a sudden. I'm thinking about filming, and I'm trying to articulate and get all my thoughts out in a cohesive manner. And I made a bunch of mistakes on the playthrough part to the point I had to cut it, redo it, and re-upload it, because just filming and playing are two different things. It's like two different hobbies.
We've been into that when we were still doing it out of the grotto at Imperialopolis Games. Remember, we tried to do that where the base game was the bottom of the box. Mm-hmm. What game it was?
Necromunda.
Was it Necromunda? That's right. And we were running into that. We were trying to play the game and kept getting caught up in the production side of it, and never having done it before. I mean, so there's a lot of growing pains there.
Yeah, and that's what I experienced. That's why Becca Scott gets paid so much money to do what she does.
Yeah.
Because she has mastered that art. And there's others. There's Rodney from Play On or On Table. There's lots of other reviewers, teachers, I guess would be the better way of saying it, that can master that art to do. Like one day I spent the entire day just refilming. Because I kept catching myself. It's little stupid things but I'll tell you right now, the people that are watching those videos, right on the internet, you did this wrong. You did. I'm like,
they're merciless.
Yeah, I have a certain threshold for my videos.
Right.
If I have to make too many edits to the point, like adding like overlays and stuff, explaining, I forgot this rule. If I get to 3, I just scrap it and redo the whole video.
Yeah, I guess
so. Because I don't want to have. If I have 2, I'm okay with it, especially if they're small. But if I have more than, if I get to 3 or more, I'm like, yeah, I did something. I got to recut this, because I want to create a video that you can watch that is just more informative, and it's not just a bunch of cuts. Becca is also prettier than you. Oh, that hurt, Joe.
That's mean.
I thought I was pretty.
I mean, that's hurtful.
That's hurtful. I think I'm gonna dye my goatee red.
I used to color my beard all the time. I just don't do it anymore.
What is your YouTube channel? JP, it's Solitary RPG. My focus is primarily role-playing games. It's completely separate.
His focus is he doesn't like people. And he
So I
plays
played
games
by
by
myself.
himself a lot.
The other thing that I did while I was on vacation is I fell in love all over again with really bad 80s adventure movies, sci-fi fantasy adventure movies.
I never fell out of those.
Well,
I never fell out of those. Those are one of my main hobbies.
I still love what I've always loved watching them, but I just there was nothing left for me to watch on YouTube.
So, what movie rekindled your flame for?
Good morning, David. Death Stalker.
Oh yeah, good movie. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Good movie in the context. We're talking about bad movies.
Yes, that's what I was.
That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks I'm saying, "Oh, good movie, Hawk the Slayer, good movie." It's not. That's why I think it's good.
Well, it was the success of Conan that ushered in this flood of barbarian type movies, and then certain producers went a little bit further in creating a movie genre that is for younger males in certain aspects of their movie creation. But when I was watching these movies, I was like, I really think whoever wrote these scripts were playing D&D, and they just took the stupid stuff that happened there in their D&D games and said, this would make a great. It's like, I'm going to go back a little bit, way back, when we used to get stoned together and we would have these really deep conversations being kind of stoned and thinking that we were creating something magnificent in our heads. In reality is we were just babbling idiots because we were stoned. Same concept.
Couple points. Mike and I have never got stoned together.
No. I'm talking
He's not talking about me. He's talking about back in the day.
Talking when I was a teenager, but we're talking over 40 years ago type stuff.
No, there's a whole list of it. Hawk the Slayer, Sword and Sorcerer, Death Slayer. There's a whole list of those bad. Krull.
And I love them all.
Yeah, I mean, Krull was just like, oh my god.
Yes.
So there's a whole bunch of those just really, really bad movies that are so bad they're fun to watch.
But there's an appreciation I'm starting to really accept because I don't like a lot of modern movies. Because modern movies have way too much CGI, and there's nothing for my imagination. Megaforce. Yeah. There's not like when you watch these bad ones, there's like a little bit of like theater of the mind, just like playing an RPG.
Yep.
You're like, yeah, I know the set's bad, and I know the effect is bad, but I'm okay with that because I got my imagination to feed into that. It's not spoon-fed to me with all the CGI and making it so realistic that I actually think it's really happening. It's like, no, this is a little bit,
I completely agree. I really do. However, there's another aspect of those movies that make them entertaining for me. Oh. And the best example is Hawk the Slayer.
Okay.
Hawk the Slayer is a D&D movie. It's got the stereotypical D&D party.
Yep.
But the only redeeming thing about it is Jack Palance plays the bad guy. And there's one scene where Hawk finally gets the sword he's destined to have.
Yes.
And when he actually acquires that weapon, it floats out of a stone. Little fantasy trope there.
Yeah.
And comes floating across the room, and while it's floating, it's rotating, and there's this epic music playing. Like it's the culmination of all of his life's effort. He's finally reached a part in his destiny. Blah blah blah. But if you watch it, it's rotating, and as it's floating to the room to reach his hand, and the sword's bent. So it's bent in the center. So you can see every time it rotates, it just kind of expands the bend. And I start laughing, and my thought process is, at some point, the director went, cut, print, that's awesome, that's great. And I'm like, but the sword was bent.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
Yeah.
Hey, there's some they're watching. You can see like shadows of like Mike Booms and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
Why are people texting me?
Especially your time of the day.
Oh, it's my package can't be delivered from just a random phone number that I've never seen before. That's not a scam.
They want you to contact them. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Joe mentioned that Masters of the Universe is due for a reboot. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I like the original.
What's that?
I like the original.
Yeah, kind of.
My favorite Dolph Lundgren film.
If they couldn't film it, became
exposition.
I don't know what that's. What he's.
They talk about it.
Okay.
Rather than filming.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Errol Flynn, Robin Hood had a bent sword. Yeah.
But Dolph Lundgren's in two of my favorite movies in this category.
Yep.
Master of the Universe.
Yep.
And also, he played the original
Punisher. I have that one, and it's awesome.
And my favorite scene on that is when he's riding his motorcycle, I think through the sewers, and he has the lights passing over his head, and you notice that his 5 o'clock shadow forms a skull.
I never picked up on that. I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
Every time it passes over, you see a little. I mean, the way his hair is cut and the makeup was done, and his 5 o'clock shadow, his face takes the shape of the Punisher skull.
See, and that's epic. That is so epic.
It's just again that's why I like movies of that nature, because they're okay. I mean,
entertaining to watch, mindless entertainment.
One of my favorites that I have a hard time locating, that I've never been able to find to actually buy it, is I Come in Peace.
I'm not familiar with that one.
I Come in Peace is where basically aliens come to the planet. Alien drug dealers come to the planet to take our endorphins, because our human endorphins are the galaxy drug of choice. And these guys come, and I think it's Dolph Lundgren. I think it's been forever since I've seen it, but when the alien shows up and he comes to his first victim, he says, "I come in peace," and they're like, "Oh!" And then they shoot something into the guy's head and they pull off all the endorphins off his brain, and it's just it's so bad. I love it.
Yeah, that's the joy of them.
And Dolph Lundgren's great. You know, one of the things about those movies is the heroes always got those really cool lines like, "I'll be back." The alien pops up in front of Dolph Lundgren toward the end. He goes, "I come in peace." Dolph Lundgren brings his gun up and goes, "And you go in pieces." It's awesome.
Oh my God. David, it is. Lundgren Punisher is yes.
They'll come from Roddy Piper. They live. Roddy Piper, another Frogtown. Absolutely.
Frogtown is
untapped entertainment, huh?
A Frogtown's supposed to be a really good one with
it is.
It totally 80s.
But Roddy Piper was also in They Live, which, a little bit of trivia, the fight scene where he's trying to get the guy to put on the sunglasses is the longest fight scene of that nature ever filmed.
Fascinating.
At the time. It may have changed now, because any John Wick movie is like 2 hours of a fight scene. But done much better, of course.
Well, yeah. So it's become just something like, I was out of YouTube stuff and I'm working on my desk and I just had them playing in the background because, let's face it, some of the plot lines aren't worth listening to, but yeah, they're funny. And some of the acting is very on par. But how many people got their start in these really bad movies? Like Legend had a very young Tom Cruise in it.
Oh yeah.
That's like, and it's. I don't think Legend's a B-rated movie. I think.
No, I love Legend. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I wouldn't classify that as B.
I think graphically, it doesn't stand up to today's standards. No. But I think for its time, it was probably.
Well, the fact that all the effects in it are pretty much practical effects.
Yeah. And
the makeup on Tim Curry was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and the fact that Tom Cruise wasn't listed at the opening scene, I was like. That's crazy. But that, again, very young Tom Cruise.
He was, but he's still a great movie.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
I wouldn't categorize that with like Hawk the Slayer and I Come in Peace.
No. But it still goes back into those 80s fantasy movies and stuff like that, which is really what it's all about, is the fantasy genre. Because they were cheaper to probably film, if you ask me. Because all you need is some loincloths and some swords and you're good to go. You don't really need a spaceship, and the set could just be any desert field that you can find.
Well, I I got, besides watching a bunch of bad television and bad movies, I did that as well. I always do when I'm painting. I got a lot of painting done.
Okay.
Not a lot of projects done.
Okay.
To keep my sanity.
Good morning, Tim.
I rotate through projects.
Yes.
Because right now I'm still at the tail end of my Dark Angel Deathwing Terminator phase.
Isn't that a commission?
Well, it's 6 commissions.
Oh.
I have done. It's almost like the Custodes. I had so many guys ask me to do their Deathwing and their Dark Angel Deathwing and Death Knights. That I'm so tired of painting bone. and so to keep my sanity, I will work for a while on a project, then I'll switch projects. So during the day, I may work on 3 or 4 different projects, just to keep my sanity, to kind of change up what I'm doing, because you get into that grind. Because right now I'm just coming out of the assembly line part of it. Okay. Where I take 20 models and I paint the same color on each model, and I just kind of go through that kind of a thing. And then I'll switch and start another project. And then at the end of the day, normally at night when I wrap up around 8 o'clock, I work on my own stuff for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if I'm feeling okay. But I haven't really accomplished anything. I've got a desk full of projects that are at various stages. And then at one point, a section of whatever I'm working on reach point that I go, okay, I'm going to work on this and just knock it out. And I got some pictures in today's
right.
And like last night, I finished up.
Oh,
I finished up this.
Oh, very rocky.
Yeah, this is the base for this.
Your grab tank?
This is my
Very cool.
Yeah, and instead of using the standard flat GW oval base that goes on the bottom, I did this up.
Magnetize it.
I'm debating now to magnetize it or not, because this is a heavy resin base from Dragon Forge.
All right, so it's got some weight to it.
Yeah, it is for my wolf spear, so I want it to all match. So, but that's where I'm at so far on that. And then, yes, the turret is backwards on this.
I would just think magnetize it so that when you transport it, you don't break the stem of the piece. That's
the nice thing is this one doesn't have a stem.
Oh, it doesn't?
Moves right flat on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
But I'm thinking that I may have to magnetize it somewhere just because of the weight, so I can pull the base off when I transport it.
Yeah.
But that's my own personal stuff. And I got a couple pictures of some other stuff I finished. But I constantly move back and forth. So what ends up happening is I won't have a lot of stuff done, and then all of a sudden I'll go boom, there's a ton.
Yeah, I should probably do like a mid picture of my Game of Thrones miniatures. Because I've got like 8 done, and then I got like 8-10 more on the table that I need to finich, but I'll wait. JP said Legend was more conceptual than most people could handle. It was particularly a silent film. Really, it reminded me of a French comic book.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess there was the dance with the devil scene that was kind of interesting when the little girl was taken captive. That was interesting. I guess I could see some of that because there wasn't a lot of lines.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Maybe that's looking time for the next season of what's BPP?
Build, paint, play.
Oh, okay.
That's where my wolf spear were.
Yeah, that's where they were born. Are they going to do another Tale of Four Warlords?
They might. I don't know what Dave has planned. I know he's not going to probably invite me. He's probably got some new guys to do it, which would make sense.
I don't know. I think there was a certain charm to having the history of GW like sitting there.
Well, there's a ton of guys that watch Build, Paint, Play. That are former GW. That's one of the things I like about it. I usually watch every episode. I just don't I don't comment a lot. I'm not quick on the keyboard, and normally I'm sitting here painting at this desk, which means my keyboard's up underneath my monitor, so I don't comment because I can't.
Right.
So I usually just have it on while I'm painting.
So everybody knows this will probably be a very heavy photo show. So,
I didn't do photos.
What's that?
I checked. It was too much work. They won't bother with it.
That was too much effort. We're just going to start 2025 off fresh.
You ready for your phone to go off? I pulled everybody's out but Joe's. Go ahead. Just too many.
too many photos. So we're
No,
gonna
he
be
got some
doing-
really, there's some really good work in there. So do we have something like 74, 75?
yeah, so we got a lot of photos to go over. So that's gonna be the primary focus of the show. We
Yeah.
just start with our usual rants and raves and what we've been up to's.
Well, to satisfy my own insecurities, because
Uh-oh.
we now have everybody watching, why don't you run the new intro that I did?
Yeah, since everyone didn't see it, we got a new intro.
Well, there's also something I want to say when it's all done.
Okay.
Yeah, so show everybody the new intro again, and then we'll come back.
All right.
The reason I had to run that again is we didn't really change the format, just changed some of the images. And we always put since our big painting competition that we did, we put our viewers pictures that they sent me, which is what the final photo section means in our Discord. When it says the area that says final photo, that was where you put the photo that you wanted used for our intro. He puts everything there, but that's fine.
Okay.
But if you are watching and you want me to update your picture because I've got several guys, like I added Amos and a couple other guys to it. If you want me to update your picture, or if you're a new guy and some of the stuff you put in is not in there, send that to me put it in Discord under the final photo section. And I will update that again and add more viewer pics.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted you to run again so they can all see it.
All right.
No need to change the format. And the other thing that's really depressing about that, the 2 photos of you and I?
Yes.
Very beginning. Now I took that picture specifically for a thing I was doing working on my own website and my own stuff. But I also sent it to Dave Taylor for the Tale of 4 Warlords for Bill Pay Play.
Right.
That was my beard color then.
Not now.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I love that long ago.
And the photo you put of me just shows my love for Ice-T. So I don't know if a lot of people know the story. I think some people, probably everyone here knows that story.
It was Gen Con and
the reason that Ice-T exists is I don't drink. And when I was at Gen Con the first year with Gamelin Games, we'd go out to eat at night and everybody's like, get a beer, get whatever you want. I'm like, give me a tea. And one of the guys who no longer works for Gamelin Games, Nathan, he had the waitress deliver that yard of tea and it was just delicious. I didn't sleep a wink that night because I had so much caffeine running through my system. But yeah, it was just a very memorable moment of being accepted into the pack of people that were there, because it was like a big dinner with like different companies and friends and all the, how that networking kind of stuff goes. And it was my way of being accepted into their gang, I guess. That was my initiation. So
if you guys want me to update your pick, or you like JP sent me some picks, I'll be adding. I picked one of those. I'll be adding. Send me the pick. I will get it updated and add it to there's a couple guys I already have that I'm adding. I'll just make those adjustments over the next couple weeks.
And make sure the pick really shows the photo. Like if you do like a far away shot of a unit, just understand that picture zooming by on the screen. So chances are people aren't really going to see it. So if you have like a unit that you really want to show off. Maybe just show off one model that you're super proud of. That
Yeah.
way, when it zooms across the stream, you could
Yeah.
just say you had blood in your.
Caffeine. Well,
Yes.
the other thing was I can actually slow that scroll down. I did not change that because I wanted to literally a lot of those I think are just going to be placeholders, and I'll start making the fine tuning on that when I add everybody in and get the content.
Yeah. So
speaking of picks, are we ready to show some off?
yeah, let's dive into this.
Hang on, let me get myself comfortable here because
Settle in for the next hour of showing photos. Everybody, grab a drink. I got water. Get your coffee. Get whatever you need, and let's go.
This isn't tea. This is whiskey.
This is Trench Crusades. I forget who did it. Amos. So this is for Trench Crusades.
Out of the blue, he IMs me with this pick because he's been in the Trench Crusades. To the point that I had to take a lot of my old Flames of War not Flames, bolt action sprues to him so he could clip off some stuff he needed.
Yeah.
So he's dove in headfirst into Trench Crusades.
Believe it or not, a lot of people did. It was probably one of the most successful miniature system that was on Kickstarter. But it's a crossover World War I weird. I don't know what it's like. A Conflict 47 for World War I. It's kind of an easier way of looking at it for my mind. Kind of cool. I love the model that he made, though.
Yeah, no, it looks great. It looks fantastic.
This is a more. It was written by the guys that wrote More Time.
Yeah, okay.
As from what I understand, either the main author or a group of people that were big into More Time.
You mean Mordheim?
Mordheim. What More Time?
Well, you're saying you're putting a T where no T exists.
There's a T.
Okay.
D's sound like T's. Now Mordheim. Mordheim. I'll get it right. I don't know why I put a T in it. I just do because I'm thinking about an iced tea right now.
But no, it looks really good. I love the base work. I mean, the whole model looks fantastic.
JP just put a name up on the board, so I'm assuming that's the author. Is that a Tomas?
Perinin.
So
I can't pronounce. I think it's Tomas.
I think it's Tomas is how that's pronounced, but
I'm not even going to attempt the last name.
Anyways, awesome stuff. I'm sure this is going to be hitting the stores when it comes out. It's a kit basher train maker. Hey Raymond, dream come true because this is for people that really want to make their own brand in this world.
Yep. No, looks really good though.
And they did you can buy STL files for their imagination of their miniatures, or they're actually selling miniatures 3D printed. Yeah.
Well done, Amos.
Yeah, I think he did awesome. Tanks.
I think this is Dave Hummel.
Hey, he's actually watching too.
Yeah, is he? I didn't notice.
It just popped in and said, thanks, guys. You're welcome.
Hey, Amos, how you doing, buddy? I thought you meant Dave just popped in.
No.
I think this is Dave Hummel. I think. Because Dave's out in Arizona.
Very nice tanks.
Good stuff. And this is Dave.
What is Dave working on here?
Well, I think.
Is this Epic?
No, it is these guys.
Oh, the picture just made them look so small. Okay,
they're on paint sticks.
Like I thought they were on popsicle sticks. They're not. They're on paint sticks. It just made them look so small.
Hang on a minute. I've never seen a plastic container that small. Then
I have.
It's like he's got a little where's it at? The Altoids box with some epic stuff on it.
Oh, that is.
I believe that's what you're hearing, dude. The War of Rohirrim stuff. Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen. Have you seen the anime for it yet?
I have not. It's on my long watch list that I got to get through.
And then
I still haven't watched Skeleton Crew yet. So.
I love the Arizona background on this photo.
Awesome.
It's just awesome background.
I love the terrain.
Desert.
Really good.
We live in a desert and there's nothing green. This is
And
Don.
Don has changed his name again in the Discord, but this is
Okay.
Don, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Well done, Don. It looks absolutely beautiful.
Love it. I love the blade. It's not blood. It's just the way he did the effects on that blade.
Oh, it's molten.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it looks really good. Really, really good. And I, like I said, one of the things I love about having such a long time in Arizona with the group is that I remember Don when he first came into the shop, big goofy git, and and started playing and painting, and just where he's come with his painting. And he's very self-aware, very self-conscious of where he wants to go with his painting, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, he's focusing on a lot of different techniques and trying to grow.
Yeah, no, his stuff is just really, really nice. Well done, sir.
Loving it.
These are my buddy Greg's Revilers.
Yes, going for that faded, worn look of the armor.
Yeah, they look fantastic. He's one of the. He and I are good friends. Been friends since we worked at Games Workshop together. But he's also one of my biggest inspirations on getting better. The problem is we live so far away, and he's in Sweden right now.
Yeah.
So he's touring Europe, and he and we've never actually, where a bunch of guys get together and start painting. Greg and I've never had the opportunity to do that. And as a matter of fact, we played our first game well after he had left Games Workshop.
Really?
We never got a chance to do anything together. So I'm hoping when he gets back, he got to sit down because I want to pick his brain on something like that because they're absolutely gorgeous. That Reviler symbol on the shoulder is hand painted.
Oh,
that's all freehand work.
Yeah.
So he's just a phenomenal painter. I think he's got three golden demons. He's just fantastic.
Fantastic. Who is calling program? Jake says, came on. Good morning, Jake, saying good greetings, programs.
Oh, hello, Jake. Good morning, sir. But Greg's stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah, love it.
And now, okay, everybody, nestle in. We're now at the Joe show part of the show.
Well, Joe did some good stuff. I don't know.
He's absolutely gorgeous stuff. There's a lot. He was out of everybody that I know. He did so much over the break.
Are these squats?
These are squats for Kill Team.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Now I own these models, and they're all exactly in that same condition right there.
The Gray Storm.
Yes. I have these, and I also have the ones with got the jump pack guy on them. So. But here's we're just going to go through. We've got a lot. I think he's got something like 25 or 26 photos.
All right. Well, we'll open up with the Joe show. I love these horns in the air photos.
Yep.
These are awesome. Loving it. Cool little mask on that one.
Woo.
Are we starting a band?
These are models I think represent the E Street Band in the future.
The futuristic E Street Band.
Yeah.
Still playing Born to Be Wild too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Look at those platforms.
Yeah.
This is obviously Cyberpunk or Cyber Red or whichever game it's for.
Whatever. But he painted so much I can't keep track anymore.
Yes, but these
into his Votan.
These actually look fantastic. I love that pistol, rifle, revolver thing.
Yeah. And he's gotten tricky on me because normally I only show the front of the model. Very rarely do I show all angles unless it's something that's really, unique or whatever. He's now taking pictures of two models, one to the front, one to the back. So to see the front of the guy that we're seeing the back of, I got to go to the next picture. He's gotten sneaky.
He's tricky.
Yeah,
tricky that way.
Well, initially I thought this was the same. I went, wait, no, that's not. I got to show off, which is fine. I'm proud of it. Hey. But it was like, oh, wait a minute.
Creativity.
These are awesome squat, or I still call them squats. But
but they're
bigger Votan squats, whatever you want to call them. But there they are.
Very nice. It's just a cool looking unit.
They're fantastic. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with them in 10th edition when the new Codex comes out, because I'm hoping they get a much wider variety of troop types.
And that blade on the we'll call it a knife, but it's more of a short sword for him. Going with a blue with a highlight, so not just going metal. Just yes, that is terrible muzzle discipline. You're not supposed to point at your coworkers or at your friends.
Yeah, but there's a 50-50 chance it won't penetrate his skull anyway.
Yeah,
Because
there
he is a squat.
It is a squat. Look at that. These just turned out fantastic.
They look great. And he, like I said, he painted his rear end off over the break.
Yeah. Well, he tried to start 2025 off with a countdown, and then Tim popped in doing all of his War Master stuff, and it started a little competition there online. Very nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
Look at that. Love that little crossbow.
Yeah. I just like Votan. I want to finish my Wolf Spear. I'm waiting for the new Space Wolf Codex before I actually even begin talking about my Space Wolves proper. So after I'm done with my Wolf Spear, I'm going to move on to my League of Votan stuff.
Very cool. Well, let's hope they don't misprint a whole page in your Space Wolf Codex.
They always do. There's always some kind of errata. So.
Look at that sniper.
Nice.
Very nice. Is this? We got a new version of Kill Team out now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it just dropped. It's got I forget what the guard troops are called, but I'm doing a bunch of those too. They're in my rotation.
Very nice. I love the Power Fist.
Yeah, the Votan they look squatty. They look. Well, I remember old squats. The only thing missing are the trikes, and I've heard rumor they're coming out with trikes.
Give it time. Very cool. Orange and white. That's a great color combo for these guys.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot of orange throughout the painting.
Well, it depends on what conglomerate they actually associated with. So that's one of the nice things. They're almost like marine chapters, but they're basically corporate conglomerates that basically do what they do. So
very cool. He couldn't put the ammo belt on because of his armor, so he just carries the ammo belt or the grenade belt. Like, I'll just carry. And that one with the do-rag looks like Hulk Hogan.
He does, doesn't he? Hulk Hogan?
The mustache thing going on.
I think we all know someone who looks like that. Whether it's Hulk Hogan, a famous person, we all have someone in our past that looks like that
guy. Love it.
Yeah,
just skipping along.
Well done, Joe. You did a tremendous amount of work, buddy.
Yeah. Very cool. Go over there.
My missing arm is over there.
I found it on. It's geobasing right over there.
Guys, like, don't you point at me.
Knock you out.
Looks really good.
Oh, who the heck is this?
I have no idea. It's a Christmas thing Joe did, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, Christmas Terminator Goblin type thing.
Hey, Victor. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hey, Victor. Thank you. Yes, best of show in 2025.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
I like it. Maybe it was part of the. It's just. Well, I wonder if it was part of the December paint thing at IOG.
Could have been. Looks really good though. And the old white dwarf.
Yes. Old painless. Waiting. I love the white dwarf. Very cool. Oh,
even did some training.
The train. So I think a lot of this is all for Cyberpunk Red or Red or what.
He just did a ton. He just did a ton of stuff. Well done.
Oh,
and these I believe are from JP.
Look at that dragon.
That's nice.
Yeah, is that a GW dragon? No, I don't think that's a GW dragon.
I don't think it is, but JP's on. He should tell us.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a Reaper dragon.
I can't be bothered to take notes on all these pictures.
No.
I'd have been here longer than I was.
No, you got plenty of going on. That's actually a really nice dragon.
Very much so.
No mini in December at IO. Joe just found cool stuff. Okay, cool. More. This is a three-headed dragon, I believe.
This is a manticore.
Oh,
That's the head of a lion.
okay.
Not going to be a manticore. It might be something else. My brain's a fuddled mess, but it's definitely
Very nice stuff. Well,
Whiz Kids dragon.
These are Whiz Kids, so very cool. Chimera.
Chimera. Thank you.
There you go.
I'm confused all the time.
We got wings. We got dragon heads. We got lion heads. We just mixed it all together and made something out of it. What was the what is that stupid movie? Oh, I forget, where the guy made a lion thing. Vote for Pedro. What was that movie? I can't even.
Oh, he made a liger.
Ligra, that's it.
Yeah, he didn't make those actually exist. They've been.
I know, but it was that
I
movie.
can't think of the name of the movie right now, but I don't enjoy that film at all. A lot of people do though.
Yeah, well, it's such dry humor.
And the picture was Cyber Krampus for Cyberpunk.
Okay, there you go.
And the name of that movie will pop out of my head if someone doesn't put it in thing. It'll pop out at some point.
At the completely
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, that's it. Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah. Yes, the Ligra. Oh, look at this tank.
A tank.
Tanks. Is that
also the pictures that I just showed of JP's are also the ones he sent me to put into our intros. So I will be adding one to
this in Greek. Is this bolt action? Is he doing bolt action?
I believe he is.
All right.
I think he plays everything.
Okay. Well, yeah. Bolt Action 3 is kind of picking up a little steam in the local area.
Good.
So, Frost Salamander. That's actually really cool.
That's very cool.
From the frozen north. And then this is Mark.
This is Mark's new project of the new US.
It is Bolt Action. He is doing Bolt Action. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It's a Matilda.
Yeah.
But this is FH's or Mark's new modeling project.
It's got to start 2025 off with a bang.
Oh, it's a gorgeous kit. He's got a lot of photo etch stuff on it.
Yeah,
and I show all the Mark stuff because he's such a fantastic fine scale modeler.
Well, it's all the little details that he sneaks in there that you kind of just miss.
I mean, all this photo etch brass is it's not easy to work with.
No.
And he just does a wonderful job with it. But this is I think it's the M. He talked about the comments on Discord. Yeah. But it's the new US tank. And I was thinking, new US tank. And then I went, wait a minute, I trained in the M1 back in oh yeah, it's like 45 years old. It's like really old.
Yeah. So, time flies when you get old.
Yeah, absolutely does. But it's a gorgeous vehicle.
Yeah, look at that fine detail with the cabling on the back platform. Very cool.
But this is
I can't wait to see how he finishes this out. I'm still amazed at the things that he's able to pull off.
Well, he's kicking off 2025 with this new project.
Look at that.
And I love he's got it on a turntable. And a lot of the stuff he does, he has on his turntable that'll rotate it around so he can get to it and not be handling it so much.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's how you rub off all the work you just did.
Well, yeah, that and everything else.
Oh, yeah, you got to put each link together.
Yep.
Yeah. I've got a tank like that, and I looked at putting all those links together, and I just put the lid back on the box and put it on the shelf.
There you go. There they are.
Yeah, look at that.
Yep, putting all that stuff together is just. I mean, and there it is, all assembled.
Love it.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome to see how he finishes this out. But Mark, I think he does he gets featured in magazines and things like that and competitions and
Mark is a phenomenal model builder. He's been that way since I met him. I met him in 97, 98. We met online, started playing.
Have you ever really met in person?
We've met each other physically, I think, twice. He stayed at my house. Yeah. One of the reasons he and I became friends was we were playing the old video game back in the late 90s called Tribes.
Right.
And back then, that was the first video game I played where they had organized teams that would compete. And he and I were on the same team. He, me, and Greg, and a bunch of other guys. But unbeknownst to me at the time, the guy that led up our team lived in the same town I did and had a get together where he invited the team to his house for like a barbecue. And I didn't think I was going to be able to go. Then I found out he lived like 4 blocks away from me. And Mark said he was going to come down, but he didn't know where he could stay. And I'd never met him. We had just talked online. I mean, it was like we talked almost every day.
Right.
Because every night after all the family would go to bed, I'd play tribes and we'd practice and go through our competition and stuff like that. So I said, yeah, you can stay with me. And he came over and crashed on my couch, and we went to the get together that weekend. And I think we met one other time, but we have been friends forever. I mean, since '97.
Yeah.
But it's always been online friends. So he and I always because I follow him and stuff on Facebook and all the other social media stuff. But every time he's on there, there's been a couple of times that somebody be posting about how you can't be online friends aren't real friends. And Mark, I've seen that Mark has seen it, and I'll just go, yeah, Mark. No, online friends are fair weather friends. They never stay friends for very long. And he and I've been friends now since, like I said, since '97. And I said we've only met a couple of times. But he's a great guy. He's a fantastic model builder. I used to make fun of him that he was a great model builder, but he couldn't paint miniatures. And we've seen that that's now not the case because he can paint miniatures with the best of them. So, but he's a really good guy.
Very cool.
And him and his wife also do barbecue competitions.
Barbecue.
They do all
making a little comment there about talking to Navy guys, and when he's talking to them, he's thinking wooden ships and Iron Men, and then they're talking about the new advanced stuff. Only Victor.
Yeah. Yep.
Look at that. Look at the stowage.
Yeah. I can't wait to see this thing done.
Yeah. It's just going to look phenomenal.
It's going to look great. I don't know who this is, but they're playing the new Halo game.
Yeah, Halo. I don't know if it's Steve. I forget whose it was.
Don changed his online name on Discord.
Wow.
I did recognize this one, so I'm just going to, whoever it is, well done.
Nice background of your paint water. Don't drink it.
Well done. a cool miniature and a PSA all in the same.
There you go. This is a message. Don't drink the paint water. He's pointing at you. Don't drink the paint water.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You won't regret it.
These are for Rob at Battlefront Miniatures.
Yes, look at that.
He's getting ready for apparently at Adepticon. There's going to be a big game he's going to be playing in.
All right.
And these are some of the models, and then he combines them. I did a bunch for him. I'm not sure. I think some of these are mine. Some of these are his.
All right.
Mine in the sense that I painted them for him.
Got it.
So he painted a match. They look great. Really, really good on the table.
Very nice.
They're very well done.
It reminded me of time.
Yeah. I'm going. When I saw Victor, when I saw FH's post about this is the new American tank, I'm like, well, the M1's not that old, and I trained in the M1 in 1981.
Yeah.
And they've been around since like 77, 78. So it's like, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, I think it might be time for a new tank. So,
maybe.
Yeah.
Technology's come a long way since then.
Tiny bit.
Now someone controls it from another place.
And then Rob's gearing up for his 50th birthday. Me and the Harry and Posey, which are our old sales team, and John Matthews are supposed to get together to play Old World when he turns 50 this year.
Very cool. Rob's only turning 50?
That's all he's turning 50. Yep. He's a youngster.
Such a youngster. Such a youngster.
And Tim has got a ton of stuff on as well.
Tim has gone down the rabbit hole that I was at many, many years ago with the love and joy of games like War Master.
Yep.
War Master is a sorry, my profile name. It's supposed to be on so many Discord channels. Okay. Yeah, you only can have one name. But yeah, War Master is a phenomenal game. Like it's really gives you the sense of playing a massive army on the table. And Tim finally discovered the love of that game. Had
Don not sent me that picture that we have in the show today, personally, I would have never realized that was him because I didn't know who it was. Now I know this model, but not the name, so it's got to be Don.
I just assumed it was Blood Angels. We have a very small collection of people that post Blood Angels, so I could narrow it down really quickly.
That's true. That's true. But yeah. This is a fun game. I didn't play it a whole lot, but yeah, playing those epic size, those gigantic battles is
Even Victor's chiming in. War Master was so much fun, and I have two War Master. Well, I have an Empire War Master army that's still in blisters, so I've never even opened it, so it's still in blisters. And I also have the Battle of Five Armies, which is the Lord of the Rings version of War Master, that is still in the box. I have all the metal miniatures that go with it that I've never done anything with, which are just part of my collection of stuff. But War Master is a good game.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, easy to paint. It's just like Epic, like the real version of Epic, not this new Legion stuff that they created. It's just that combined arms concept. It's just fun to play. Yep. Look at all the bears.
Dwarves on bears.
The bear craps in the woods. Does
it leave a dwarf?
Yes. Look at the cavalry.
Yeah. This actually takes me back to when I used to play DBR and DBM. And painting 15mm samurai is not fun.
Yeah, Victor. Battle of Five Armies does exist. Fun fact: only did Poles have winged hussars, they also had war wagons that they could fashion into fortifications. That is a fun fact. JP is our fun fact person now. Yeah. JP, you just became our fun fact person. I just like how he started that fun fact. So yes, good stuff. And here's what's cool about it: like if you're into historical gaming, is it Warlords? Just started. They did they've done like historical games. It's not Revolutionary War, Civil War, and Pike and Shoot.
Pike and Shot.
Pike and Shot, and they're doing War Master scale stuff, and I'm sure it's by the same people that wrote War Masters over at Warlord Games. So they're doing more of this scale, which I'm not I kind of like the scale. It's a fun scale to paint up and play with on the table.
Well, I'm about ready to take a dive back into a pseudo historical genre game.
What's that?
Battlefront is releasing their new IDF force for Team Yankee.
Oh.
And when I was an M1 tanker, the Merkava, shortly after that, the Merkava was basically designed and built by the Israelis, and I've always had a love and a fascination for that vehicle. When I saw that we're doing an actual IDF that had Merkavas in it, I dove off the cliff.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so I'm waiting. That should be in sometime this month or next.
Yeah, Team Yankees and what if combat system or what if war system, which I kind of dig.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like a little more modern stuff. So
yeah,
but yes, Tim has a lot.
Yeah, well, this is where like Joe posted up, like, oh look, I forget the number, and Tim's like, yeah, I guess he's counting each stand as a model. He's like,
I'm just thankful that Tim didn't just go individual picks of stand by stand.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have shown them all.
No. Well, what makes paint like on these models, this is one of those things. You prime them black, dry brush them white, pull out some detail, and you're done. Pike and Shot, Napoleonic, Civil War, and just did a Hail Caesar all in 10 mil. I painted them up for their website. Oh, very cool, Victor.
Oh, fantastic.
Very cool. I didn't know they did Napoleonic, so I'm gonna have to look into that.
And then we get to Mike's lone picture.
My one. There we go.
They look great though, buddy. They really do.
My Jason's paint. Those were my test paints for that terrain set, and Jason's going to paint up everything else. So I will be doing a big modular dungeon building terrain project this year. And Victor,
go ahead.
Oh, Victor brought up Napoleonic. So he brought up, they did Pike and Shot, Napoleonic, Civil War, and just did Hail Caesar. Reason I mentioned Napoleonics is Firelock Games is about to release their new expansion. It's a parallel sweet tea. How'd you know? For Napoleonics version of their game.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I've always liked Napoleonic miniatures, and I've always liked painting them because they're so colorful.
Quite frankly, there is no better army on the table than a well-painted Napoleonic army.
Especially at 28 mil. Like, yes, I know we
Yeah.
can do it at 15 and 10 and 6. I've seen even people do 2 millimeter.
Yeah.
But there is something about a 28 millimeter. Victrix, I think, is the company I used the most back in the day.
If we're talking 28, I'd also have to say a really nice late Imperial Japan army.
Oh yeah. Well, didn't we get into what was that game that came out? Are you done? You can pull us off.
Oh no, I've got 2 more.
Oh, then let's go ahead and move on.
They're my 2.
Oh, let's go ahead.
This is one of the bane I'm dealing with right now is the Death Knights.
This is going to be the death of you, Jeff. With the
it's replaced the Custodes that I was dealing with for 2 years.
Yes.
And then I did something I've been doing. If you haven't seen online, I've been playing a lot of Blood Bowl with Amos, Chris from work, and John Matthews.
I saw a wonderful photo of you all standing around.
There's been 2. Amos is very good at keeping us in the social media spotlight. I love my Norse team, love my Chaos Force team. The Norse team, however, can be for Old World Alliance or Chaos. They can be Chaos Undivided, or they can be Chosen of Khorne. And all that really means is when you start talking about campaigns and other stuff, they get access to other things because of where they fall in that category. And this is my Punga Miniatures Blood Bowl team. That was part of the Kickstarter where I got my Chaos Dwarves. So I got my Chaos Dwarves and a Punga Norse team at the same time. So I wanted to do a team that was, I have my Old World Alliance team done, which is the ones I did a year ago. This is going to be my Chosen of Khorne Norse team, which is why they're the red and black, but they're still on the ice base.
Got it.
So that is a project I'm going to be working on. That's one of the ones I want to get done on 2025. And I'm hopefully next show or the show after, I'll have a list of here's my checklist of what I want to accomplish of my own personal stuff over the next year.
So I want to point one thing out about this model. Lovely paint job. I think it's fantastic. If it's going to be a Chaos team with those legs, you should have painted the tops of those legs like footballs, the way they're shaped. Like those look like footballs as the tops of
yeah. Well, I've kind of exaggerated. I've kind of exaggerated the highlighting and the shading. But the Punga models they're much thicker than the GW ones, even the Chaos Dwarves. Because the other one I want to get done is I want to get this one done, and then I want to get my GW Chaos Dwarf team done. Right. Well, because I want to do that. But that's actually what I did there. That's just my Chosen of Khorne.
Very cool.
So anyway, boom.
And then Victor saying, if I like Napoleonics, I should look at Silver Bayonet for the skirmish game. Yep. I've heard lots of good things about it. And JP saying the Frozen Khorne.
Frozen Khorne.
The Frozen Khorne. Yeah. I'm kind of interested in the Firelock game because, and the reason I'm kind of interested is they're locking it down to just one region of the peninsula where the Napoleonic battles took place, and it's got just like a small faction or small selection of miniatures. But I want to just see what they're doing for miniatures. That's kind of where I'm more interested in what Firelock is doing. Is I want to see if they're making their own line of miniatures, or are they just going to be using Victrix miniatures or some other lines that already exist and they're just putting out a rule book? I have not looked at their Kickstarter yet. It just popped in my head because I watched what's her name Discourse yesterday talking about the latest whatever, and they were sponsoring the video, so I was like, oh, I should go check that out. Because Sharps
rifle.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I believe that's what he's referencing.
Yeah.
My love of Napoleonics begins and ends with a good-looking army on the table. I
Yeah.
don't want to paint them. I don't want to have anything to do with them. That's the only Napoleonic, and there's a whole backstory of mental drama that goes along with that. The only Napoleonic game I ever wanted to play was by a company back in the 90s called Flint. They did a game called Flintlock.
Okay.
And it was basically fantasy Napoleonic.
Right.
You had orcs, dwarves, all dressed up in Napoleonic gear.
Yep.
So, yeah. I think they look great on the table. And the owner of Waterloo Games, which is where I used to work, was a massive Napoleonics guy. And I used to go down all the time. They'd have the entire table set up with these gigantic Napoleonic games in 15 and 28, depending on the game.
Yeah.
So I really like them. I never had the era doesn't interest me. I never had an interest in playing them.
When I was into it, I had a stack of books going over all the flags, regimental colors, paint scheme, like all the color blocks, tons of stuff. I sold it all off, got out of it, because me and a guy named Gary, who used to do a lot of gaming locally, he was wanting to write his own Napoleonics system. So that's what got me into it, and he's kind of what exposed me to it all. And then that's when I got into it, and I started painting up the British because I liked painting the red uniforms, and I just liked the look of the miniatures. So that's what got me into it. But yeah, I wanted to get
still has a copy of Flintlock.
Yeah.
And JP always wanted to get into it, could never find. I think I still have my copy somewhere in a box, Victor. My copy of Flintlock somewhere. But it was a fantasy based. Every nation was a different fantasy race, and I just thought orcs in Napoleonic dress was just hilarious.
Can't go wrong with that, but it's out there, so it's kind of neat. But yes, the 10 millimeter scale thing is, as Victor pointed out, all the different systems that they've come up with to play in 10 millimeter. I like the War Master system because GW put out their version called War Master Ancients.
Sure.
Where they took battle ancient armies, and I have all those books, and it's actually a really fun way of playing Ancients games where it's not so tactical because of the way the game is played. It's, command. You have a commander that does certain things, and that's basically all you can do.
I would probably get into Napoleonics. There are more wolves and more Vikings.
There's Viking armies in Ancients.
And I play those.
There you go.
Saga.
Yeah. Epic scale, Nappy, and Flintlock elves. There you go. Sold my 15 and 6 millimeter. Okay. Hey, the pictures that's everything that we pretty much have. You want anything else you want to touch base on, or
not really? Are you in a hurry to get out of here?
No, I'm not in a hurry.
I'm closing all my windows I have open.
We just talked about so much. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, it's been a long game. The only thing is, I'm hoping this year for the show.
Oh, okay.
That we can get as soon as I'm still in the process, and I've been doing this over a year now, of trying to get my studio moved from one room to the other, and it's a huge task. And this year's ended up being get a running car.
Last year. This year's starting out on the right foot.
Well, last year, we're like 11 days into the new year.
Yeah, I think today's the 11th. Yes,
today's the 11th. Absolutely. So I want to get back into painting on camera while we're chatting. And I plan on, because the other thing I want to do is right now for me to do the show and to do my daily painting is at this chair.
Right.
So I want to separate these two a bit to where I can have an area where I actually do the show and I can paint there. But when I actually sit down and actually paint, that way I'm not sitting in this chair as much as I am.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So but we're hope that happens. Then I got a long list, and over the next couple of weeks during our shows, I'll probably talk about what I want to accomplish painting.
Well, and for me, like last year, I only told like a very few people, but last year I had a health thing going on that I did not share with anybody, really, not public. I didn't share it at all on the show, so that turned out for the better. And
you passed all your cognitive tests.
No, I did pass my test, but
no, we're good. Yeah, I get it, but I'm making light of it.
Yeah, I know. So that took away a lot of my focus last year. So I'm with you. I want to get back into painting something on a regular basis. So when we get you situated, maybe once we get you situated, we can kick off that excitement by maybe doing like a big weekend paint-a-thon type thing or something. Like do something kind of cool to celebrate.
Well, like we didn't really make a big deal out of Thanksgiving or October.
No.
I want to do another painting competition among the viewers. That kind of thing.
No. Again, our show is not meant to be this big. Like we're just wanting to keep people together and just talk. And this is kind of like our group, our pack, our social concepts.
From the beginning, what we attempted to do was replicate what you and I used to do every Saturday at IOG.
Yeah, sit around
and play a game and BS about other games.
Yes.
And then the end of the day, we talk about what we're going to play next Saturday, which was actually the bulk trying to decide what game we're going to play the following week.
Well, and now that Bolt Action, I haven't looked into Bolt Action 3rd edition yet. It is getting, like I said, there's a group locally that is starting to play more and more. Different times at IO. Cool seeing guys touching base in person. Yeah, that's what I want to get. I need to get back into just going and just, so we are social people. Like this is how the human race is. And I don't mind. I like doing the screen time because I think the screen time is important, but I also like the game time, but I just got to get certain life things put back. My personal schedule is just different. My time to go to the shop is Friday and not Friday night. Like it's Friday, and that makes it really hard to have that social aspect of it.
Well, for me, I'm going to be completely honest. 2024 for me was a shit show.
Yeah,
it was just one issue after another, and some of the problems were self-created, some of the problems weren't. But I just was so, and I'm just now coming out of it. Which you and I talked about in our pre-show Take Over the World conversation.
Yes.
And so I really want to kind of get back into that. And I'm a routine person. I need a routine.
Yes.
And I want to get back into where I'm in a rhythm and I'm just doing stuff. There's a lot of projects I want to finish this year. I want to participate a lot more. I want to do a lot more shows. Like I want to, other than going to Adepticon for Battlefront, which I probably will be going. I want to do a lot of other shows around the area, just go to hang out at conventions. All week, I had decided that I was going to go up to IO and spend the whole day there finding a 40K game or something else. Then I got notice that the open gaming was not happening today because tournaments, blah, blah, blah. He's a little bummed. I get that, buddy. I get that. And unfortunately, the tournament stuff happens. Play in a tournament.
There you go.
Yeah. That's the other thing I want to do. I want to get more games of 10th edition in because I haven't played in a while.
Right.
And I do want to eventually, hopefully there'll be a GT somewhere close by that I can take my Wolf Spear over and give them another.
And speaking of going to IO and talking about gaming, I guess IO expanded their hours a little bit. So if you're local, I know Don is and Victor is and Joe is, and Joe should already know because he works at IO. Check out the website, check out the Facebook group. They've expanded their hours to be more accommodating to people gaming.
Well, speaking of IO, there's a couple things that you'll be seeing in IO quite soon.
Enlighten us.
I have just set up the Game Envy lamp, like the one I sent you.
Yeah, I love the Lucy. Yes.
There will be the Lucent lamps will be there. I have opened an account for IO with Darren. I should say Darren and I opened an account. I asked Darren, he said yes, and I just did the paperwork. So I'll have the Game Envy supplies.
Very cool.
And the Game Envy Lucent lamps. Now they've redesigned the Lucent lamp, which is something the first thing I saw that lamp, I loved it. Right. There's one thing I said, man, they should have put a hinge right here.
That's my one complaint about it.
The new one has it.
That's awesome.
And they'll be back in stock soon, so I'll be placing an order for those.
So I might have to get another one.
Yeah, I'm going to invest in probably 2 more.
Because I use it for my videos for my YouTube channel. I've got to like twist the arm and do all kind. If it just had a hinge, I could just twist it, just the hinge.
The new one has that hinge, but they make the exemplar wet palette that I use religiously. I love it. Those will all be available at IOG very soon. There's been a huge spike in oil washing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it kind of goes in cycles. I've been oil washing for years. I don't do it on every project.
Right.
I oil wash certain projects because I want that oil wash look.
Right.
But there's been a spike in requests for oil washing, so I have oil washes coming.
But you
The
can just
shop,
make,
which should be there within the next week, 10 days.
you just buy oil paint.
You do, but a company does pre-mix them for people.
Yeah. All right.
So I have those coming in.
Don's
And
asking.
if it takes off, I'll bring in the oils and.
Don has no clue what that is. The lamp we're talking about, Don, is. Let me switch camera views.
Well, hang on. I may have my Lucent lamp box here somewhere.
Oh, it's probably one of the best hobby lights, I think, on the market.
It is a really good one.
Which oil wash? Which oil watch? Wash.
Oil washes.
Washes. But the light, because of the way all the arms articulate, you kind of can create that dome effect on your painting desk. You know, everyone started making those arch lights that went over your desk to give you light all the way around. This does it, but the arms articulate and rotate and everything spins around. So you can manipulate your light to fit your painting style so that your hands aren't casting shadows over your painting, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. So it's just a really great light.
I'm going to probably do something I shouldn't do.
Oh crap, he's going to press buttons, everybody. be on the lookout for, we don't know what's going to happen. You're going to try to bring up your screen, aren't you?
Yes.
I can't wait to see how this pans out for us.
We may end up on Facebook, but Facebook doesn't really have a jail anymore because they got rid of their fact checkers and other crap. So
wasn't it something to do like Mark? He was in the hospital and he posted something and they fact checked him and said no.
I have no idea what's going on.
I don't know.
I think it's just funny.
I just, anytime you read something, you're like, whatever. This ought to be. And what oil washes? Do you know which company?
Scale 75 makes oil washes in a pre-mixed format.
Okay.
All right, there's nothing on here for me that's personal. See if I can just.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is so epic. This is gonna be interesting.
Technology and my ability.
This is why we watch race cars. Like, we're just waiting for something to happen. So now we're like, oh, Jeff's trying to do something live on stream. Let's see what takes place, and we're all gonna sit here with anticipation until
and watch Jeff implode.
Oh, this could be epic. Oh, but yeah. So I don't know why oil washing's becoming a thing all of a sudden. It's
all cyclic, but it rolls around from place to place and thing to thing. And
well, when's the dip and flick going to become a thing again?
Soon, I'm sure.
Well,
bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. We're almost there.
Almost. Don, I think you'll really like this light, especially if you're trying to elevate your paint a little bit. Especially as we get older.
Methinks I'm there.
Methinks I'm there.
I love the spontaneity of our show. Nothing is pre-done. Nothing is. This is the Lucent lamp. All right.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got these hinge here and here.
Yep.
You control. You also have a light.
You got 4 lights. You got the center light, and then each arm that goes out from the center has a light.
Yep.
Everything rotates. Like, you got so much flexibility with it.
And they've added a hinge here, which they didn't have before. But there's your light controls at the top where you can actually control both these as well as your center light in brightness and also color.
Yep.
So it'll change based on, all that stuff. I'll have these in the shop soon.
Yeah. It's probably the best, and it's not terribly expensive.
It's not. I made Christmas gifts out of them. A lot of guys got these for me for Christmas or birthdays or something. I just started sending them out because they're great lamps.
Don, you have lots of light control. You have lots of light options for your Lucent light. From yellows to blues to daylight to super bright, and you can control the brightness of it. Like, you've just got so much going on, especially if you're like in a room like myself. It's very dark where I'm at, and it just makes it beautiful. It's the best Christmas gift I've ever received.
So yeah, I'll have those. But they also make the. Let me stop sharing here. I can't find for some reason the wet palette that I swear by is missing from my table.
Did you clean?
Oh no, it's right here in front of me. Right in plain sight. The exemplar wet palette.
Yeah.
I'll have those in the shop with the accessories and the refills. And they make a bunch of other really cool stuff. They make the little inserts in there, little brush holders. They make a ton of stuff. That'll be in the shop. The oil wash will be in the shop. And I'm also going to be bringing in this range.
Mig, who is that?
Oh, this is Huge Miniatures.
What is it?
Huge Miniatures makes a line of terrain compounds
like
lava, mud. This is this is called their 4-in-1 scatter. It's got clumps of tufts. It's got very fine grit. It's got static grass of a couple colors.
So it's just a mixture of all the stuff that fell on the floor. They swept it all up, put it in a container.
It's all pre-mixed in there, but they make a whole line of these things. I ran into them at Adepticon and picked up a couple things. I've set up an account there for IOG as well. I personally have used the mud, the snow, and the volcanic.
Okay.
Volcanic crackles. This is the snow, and then this is just the regular mud. Now what I like about this company, it is a husband and wife who just had a little baby about a year ago, maybe 2, and they operate out of their garage.
Yeah, JP's commenting right now saying they're Ohio-based.
Yes, they're fantastic stuff. I'll have that in that IOG very shortly.
Very cool.
So in the next, probably, I'd say 60 to 90 days, all that stuff should be in place.
All right.
Good to go. So, but the oil washes will be there. They're actually the first thing that should arrive. The only reason I haven't ordered the Game Envy stuff yet is because we're waiting for the new lamp design to hit their shelves.
Sure.
But I've already got the account set up and ready to go. It's good crackle. It's like any crackle paint a texture that the more you put on, the heavier a crack is. Takes a little longer to dry. But what I like about it is it's actually a little thinner than like the Vallejo and the others I've used, which are pretty thick.
All right.
And so I've had that for over almost a year now because I bought it at Adepticon the last time I was there. Where I've had trouble with the AKI and the Vallejo drying out. That hasn't yet, and it goes on really thin.
There you go.
All right, that's the other thing. It's really super thin.
The GW one that came out at that one point, like you had to really put that stuff on thick if you wanted heavy cracks. And
that's the Morden Earth. This works the same way. Here's the difference, though, where both the GW stuff and the Vallejo stuff and the AKI stuff that I've personally used is very thick.
Yes.
Almost toothpaste.
Yeah.
This stuff I can put this on. The mud, especially, I can put this mud on so thin that I can see the underneath color will affect the color of the mud.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I can do a lot with it. But because it's so thick, I can put it on after the model's been attached to the base and not have to worry about getting those big clumps of stuff on.
Or touching the painted model or anything like that.
Right. So that's what I like about them. And so, like I said, I'm going to be bringing that stuff in. I'm going to be bringing more in for myself as well for me to use. But I've used all 3 of these. They work really, really well.
When the oil paints arrived, I'll go pick some up and we'll mess around with them on the show and see, like oil paint. I guess oil painting is going to become the next thing after this. If
we had this conversation where everybody was freaking out about contrast paints.
Yeah,
contrast paints. People have been painting in a contrast style for years. You just had to learn how to thin your paint to the point that it would act like a contrast paint.
Right.
But now they have it in pre-made in the bottle, like the oil washes. When Darren first asked me about can we get oil washes, I said, well, Darren, that's just a tube of oil paint and some mineral spirits. You can make it however you want. And he goes, well, people are asking for it with everything out there pre-made. And Scale 75, who I already deal with, had a line in their mix called Soil Works, but it was hard to get your hands on. They make the pre-mixed oil wash in a bottle of, I think there's like 11 colors.
It's kind of hard to have too many colors.
So I'm bringing that in to start, and then if it takes off and Darren wants me to, I'll bring in the actual oil paints and the other stuff. You can mix your own, that kind of stuff.
Don's talking about running it through an airbrush?
For your terrain, I have not heard of anyone doing that, sir. I haven't heard anything like that at all.
I guess unless you got like a really open airbrush that can push a lot of paint out.
Well, the whole part of the crackle is the amount you put on, and putting it on with an airbrush. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
If we're talking the crackle stuff, I don't see how that. I've never heard of it. I've never tried it, but it may be out there. I'm very slow to or very.
And I would
avoid saying that isn't possible.
And I wouldn't airbrush oils through.
Oh, he wants to airbrush. He wants to airbrush the base, then put the crackle. I got it now.
That makes sense. JP's talking about James Wapple. Yes, James Wapple is the master of using oil paints on miniatures.
Absolutely.
I've messed around with it. I painted a bunch of miniatures with it. I have a ton of oil paints because I'll still do an oil wash because you have much more control with an oil wash than you'll have with a regular acrylic wash. And that's the idea behind it.
My oil wash sponges.
Yeah. Because you can just flood it on there like a contrast, like they were trying to sell contrast, just flood it on there. When you can do that with oil, because then you can just remove it through sponges and different things. So I guess you're going to have to start carrying sponges of some sort. Like,
so. We'll figure it out.
All right, everybody. Well, this old man has to hit the head. So I can only cross my legs for so long before that doesn't work anymore.
It's a testament to our age that how long we have before we have to go to the bathroom determines the length of our show.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly it. All right, we're going to get out of here. We will be back next Saturday for more wonderful entertainment. Maybe we'll talk some more terrible 80s movies. We can talk about the hair.
So, talk about the what?
The hair.
Oh, my hair is in this?
No, the hair in the 80 movies. The movies.
Oh,
some of the barbarians had very nice flowing hair.
Oh, they all did.
All right. We'll be back next week, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.